Marvin, let's start with what's your thoughts?
Probably frustration is a main thing. I think we panicked on the ball an awful lot today. Probably, we weren't as penetrating with the ball as we have been, and just probably decision making at times as well. But as I said, you're going to get that with a young group. But it's about us learning from it, because as I said, we could have been a lot better on the ball today, regardless of coming out with a point or not.
Sometimes I thought today as well, they were doing the hard work and winning the ball, but then instantly just giving it away again.
Yeah, almost like a panic setting. Like you said, Sandra, they did extremely well in turning the ball over sometimes, but then instantly, you're giving the ball back away. And like you said, that's probably a quality that the team has. It does have an abundance. It's not one of the things that have been labelled, at us before. But yeah, I felt at times today we just failed to show that little bit of quality, especially strange in defensive and mid-thirds. I think when we got to the final third, Lee put a couple of crosses in, Lewis Gibson as well when he came on. But yeah, I just felt the actual build-up play, there wasn't the sharpness to it, and we knew that they were going to sit off us at times. We've seen the videos and we spoke about it, and trained at it this week about what we wanted to do when we got into wide areas in our defensive and middle third, but we just kind of failed to do it today.
Another disappointing goal to give away.
Yeah, they were only shot on target as well, which makes it even more frustrating. There's a couple of things that we don't deal with well enough. The diagonal first and foremost. If you can't win the ball, then you get goal side of it. But it's almost like we pushed their player towards our goal, and then there's one striker in the box and we've got two defenders, and I think you hear me shout it all the time: lock on, lock on. And that means stay with your man, and we don't, and the ball gets put in the back of the net. And if you don't lock onto your man, you're always going to be, susceptible to a goal like that. You saw last week against Falkirk that they flashed a lot of balls like that across. But if you're goal side of your man, they can't get to it. And today, if you're not goal side of your man, ball comes into the same sort of area, and I think he kind of hits it off his hip into the goal.
One positive, I suppose, to look at it is a few weeks ago, they wouldn't have come back from that.
No, exactly. They wouldn't have, and they did extremely well. We actually spoke to Lee and just said, stay a little bit more narrow. I think he was kind of floating too wide, and then Lee does what Lee does. The ball comes in from Kieran, good first touch, and a good shot that's going on target, takes a slight deflection, ends up in the back of the net. And as you said, that takes us in at 1-1 in the break. And there were some harsh words said, because I've always said that since being here, performance is massively important, because you'll win more games than you lose if you keep performing well. And I just didn't feel in the first half we did enough things right. We were in at 1-1, and, we said we needed a reaction in the second half and to up our game. And as I said, it kind of huffed and puffed at times, but still it was short of, where we've been recently. A point,
but you really want to be picking up 3, as you will say.
Yeah, of course.
Especially at home.
Yeah, you want to pick up 3 points no matter where you go. Let's be honest, Alloa on a fantastic run. They've been on a really, really good run. But in terms of taking care of ourselves, yeah, you want to pick up 3 points today. And then when you're 1-0 down and you get back to 1-1, as I said before half time, right, let's kick on and do it again. And as I said, we had 2 strikers on at the end, trying to go for the game, and I just felt a couple of those balls that are flashing across. We need one of the forwards to be in there, kind of like their forward was for their goal. So it's something we'll look at, and learn from.
I guess we have to say the positive as well. That's 1 defeat in 6.
Yeah, no, exactly that, and that's down to the players. Continuously working hard, and as I said, when you're not at your best, good teams still take things from games. And don't get me wrong, there's a frustration from me. Definitely, there's a frustration from them as players, which is massive, because if I'd have gone in there and they'd have been high-fiving each other, there'd have been a worry. But they're frustrated in there. They know they could do better. But like you said, it's 1 defeat in 6 games, which is kind of runs that you want to be on. But as you said, we wanted 3 points today, and we just failed to get it.
Away to St Mirren, a break from the league next week. St Mirren in the Cup.
Yeah, it gets easier, doesn't it? Honestly. But what a great game to look forward to. The players, it's one of them, you're going to a Premier League stadium, a team that's doing extremely well in the Premier League, by the way. But it's a massive game for, the players and the club. So it's, something to look forward to, as you said. Obviously we'd all like to go into it off the back of a win. We can't do that. But we are looking forward to that game, because, like you said, it gives us a break from the league, and, we go and test ourselves against, one of the better teams in the country.
It is a good test for them, isn't it?
Oh, it's a fantastic test. It's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. We know that. We're going to have to be better on the ball than we were today. But, as I said, as young players, that's the sort of games you look forward to. And hopefully we have a couple of injured players returning for that as well.
Where are we in terms of injuries?
We're at 5 now instead of 6.
Cammy Logan now added to that, though?
Oh no, I didn't want to speak it. Hopefully not. Jack Bryden trained this week, which is fantastic. Obviously had a long layoff since, a horrendous, ankle injury, but he's back into contention now. He'll train again fully next week and hopefully come through that. So he'll be in and around it for the St Mirren game. Gavin Riley, we're hoping to have him back sooner rather than later. So we'll see how he is this week. Harry Cochrane the same as well. We'll see where he's at. Those are probably the three that are imminent. Jack will definitely be in and around it, and the other two will take day by day this week. And hopefully Cammy's not been added to it because, we've said all along, we've had a lot of bad luck with injuries this season, haven't we? So hopefully it will change at some point.
I guess having Jack back will almost be like having a new player again because he's been out for so long. Yeah,
it will. He had the hamstring injury after, in a Dundee United pre-season game, then he came back and then he did his ankle terribly against Annan. So like you said, having him back will be a massive help to us, gives us another body as well. It's fantastic to have him even back out on the training pitch. We all know how vocal he is and stuff. So yeah, it's been an added boost to us definitely. And, hopefully that's the end of the injuries for him. And as I said, we can get another couple back as well.
Any closer to getting anybody else in the door?
No. We're speaking to a few, but it looks like we'll be at the point where we're going to kind of, players have to go out to come in. And it's probably a difficult thing to do because we are short on numbers already. So, you don't want two players to go out to bring one in, so to speak. So we'll just see where we're at, but we'll aim to get the injured boys back in. We'll get a couple of the younger players out on loan as well because their development's also important. It's fantastic for them to be in and around the squad, but we need them playing on a Saturday, if they can help impact the club next season. So we owe that to them as well. But yeah, in terms of bringing people in, there's been a few conversations had, but we need to kind of free up the budget to allow that to happen.